So what's the deal with the Red Muck Bass from Jam Pedals, and why do bass players like it so much? What does it offer more than a regular Big Muff apart from its mix, control and second foot switch? We are already starting this video with a lot of questions, so let's try to answer them properly, shall we? Welcome back to the Weather Base. I am Jean-Marc Vonloo. I want to start by thanking Jam Pedals for sending me this almost iconic pedal. This Big Muff is based on the 71 Triangle and Civil War versions. It has that typical fat fuzz distortion sound, but thanks to its mix control, you can add the clean sound of the bass, particularly note clarity and transients. And the rest of the controls are common to all Big Muffs: level, which is volume, tone, gain, sustain, or distortion. The range of tone, in my opinion, is very well adapted to bass guitars. It ranges from a warm, fat sound to a boosted treble sound that never sounds strident. However, the Red Muck hides a secret within its sound that only becomes apparent when comparing it to classic 3 controls Big Muffs. The mids have been slightly emphasized to favor a more articulated sound. Other Big Muffs in the shootout, in the Big Muff comparisons we did previously, do have a dedicated mid control. However, the Red Muck doesn't need that. I don't know what the engineers over at Jam Pedals did, but they got the mids tuning just right. Not too little, not too much. What's the advantage of this? Well, apart from sounding better in a mix with other instruments, not needing a mids control simplifies the usage of the pedal. Another detail that I like, and that, by the way, also makes life easier when adjusting the sound on the fly, is that the level or volume control is that of the output signal, and it includes the clean signal. This means that it maintains the wet-dry balance when modifying the volume. Another function that really adds versatility to this pedal is the second foot switch. It increases the gain, boosting the level, but without it ever going over the top. Again, just the right balance. Not too little, not too much. It is very well adjusted so that when playing live, for example, it gives you a plus of aggressiveness whenever you need it. I think it's quite clear that when they adapted the Red Muck for bass, the engineers over at Jam Pedals knew exactly what they were doing. It's a pedal made for bass. No doubt about it. The right amount of added mid-frequencies, the mix function and the 2 gain levels certifies this, making the Red Muck an easy, effective and practical pedal to use. Of all the Big Muffs we tested in the previous shootout, if tomorrow I'd had to go on a tour with one of them, I would take this one, without hesitation. In other words, if a band would ask me to play with them with a Big Muff sound, well, you know, okay, it doesn't impress as much at first glance as the original Big Muff Pi, as this original Big Muff Pi, for example, but no one will criticize you for not sounding like the original. And I would even go as far as saying that this is even better for bass guitars. The other one I would consider bringing along with me would be the Swamp Lord from Minotaur Sonic Terrors, as I mentioned in its review. Coincidentally, the two are Greek brands and both of them are made in Greece. But Jam Pedals with its Red Muck has found the perfect balance between sound and making our lives easier. Maybe it's not the most versatile, maybe it hasn't got the strongest character. There are other Big Muff pedals that allow you to adjust the sound with more precision, and maybe, despite its small size, it isn't the easiest to install on a pedal board, mainly because the 9-volt socket is too close to the output jack. And also, while we are at it, it would be great if the 3 sockets would be at the back of the pedal. Or at least if they could separate the 9-volt socket from the output jack, that would be great. All in all, if you want an ideal Big Muff for bass with a spot-on balance between the classic sound and a subtle enhancement of mid-frequencies to hear yourself better, and want it to be easy to adjust on the fly when playing in a concert, for example, I think it would be difficult to find another one like this one. Little more can I say. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about the pedal. Please like and subscribe. Slap the bell so that YouTube can notify you when I upload a new video. Follow me on Instagram at the Weatherbass channel for updates. Now I will leave you with the last sound sample. We will run a loop through the pedal, move all of its controls, and see how they affect the sound. That's it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.